Hello everybody! Welcome to the Q&A video that I said I was going to do. It is now Sunday evening, so I guess I better get started on this thing before I end up being made a liar. I don't have any real format that I'm going to do this in. I know there's a lot of repeat questions, so I'm going to cover all of the repeats in one deal. But I guess I'll start from the bottom of the list. Audio Halo asks, where do I stand on the making of a Metroid Fusion sequel? I'd be all for it. I mean, I sure as fuck didn't like the Metroid Fusion prequel, or as I like to call it, the Metroid Fusion Wii port, because, well, I'll get to that a little bit later. But, I mean, as far as it goes, I think they did a good job when the story was original and not completely ripped off by Other M. The Federation was actually introduced in a more antagonistic role. With the Metroids, well, with the infant Metroid being given a sort of a side protagonist role before it was the baby. You were given sort of the same kind of conclusion with you and the SAX versus the Omega Metroid at the end of Metroid Fusion, the same way it was you and the infant Metroid versus Mother Brain at the end of Super Metroid. I don't know exactly where you would go, besides Samus just gunning down every fucking corrupt person involved in the Federation, and I don't know exactly how well that would go. But please, give us a 2D Metroid. Give us one. All I ask for is another 2D Metroid game. Even if it's in the kind of hand-holding, not as fluid gameplay style as Metroid Fusion. Fusion seemed a little bit slower to me than even Metroid Zero Mission, which ran on the same engine, I believe. Give us a sequel. I don't care. Just give us a new Metroid game, one that doesn't suck. More on that later. So, let's see. Metroidian Hunter asks, if I may ask, I know you hate the Metroid game, Other M, and that I do, but may I ask why exactly? Is it the gameplay or the constant references to the baby Metroid? I mean, I like what they did to the gameplay. I like the whole third-person to first-person control. I know the baby Metroid stuff can get a little annoying, but to me it's still a good game. Opinions are subjective. I will admit to this. The one good thing that I could say about Metroid Other M is that it's a very visually stunning game. Besides that, I really can't say much good about it. Where do I begin? The acting, very substandard, and it's all chosen by Mr. Sakamoto. He had his hand throughout the whole project. The acting is bad. The whole story is like a ripoff of Metroid Fusion. And if I want to play Metroid Fusion, I'll play Metroid Fusion. The deleter storyline went absolutely nowhere. Nothing really got accomplished at the end of it besides a whole bunch of people getting killed that we really don't care about, aside from Adam. And I think there was a theory going around that Adam had died during the events of the first Metroid game. And, well, this game completely put the kibosh on that. The gameplay really isn't that great to me. It kind of revolves around, it revolves around the whole, I don't even remember what you call it. When you jump on the enemies, the execution kill system, auto-targeting sort of took out any challenge. So did, what was it? Well, Sense Move took any challenge there was out of it. It was Sense Move, auto-targeting, which was a necessary evil, but if they had just kept it at that, it would have been fine. And concentration was another big one for me. The gameplay was, I think people overrate the gameplay a lot. I didn't get anything from the gameplay, I didn't get anything from the story, I didn't get anything from the presentation besides the graphics. I have a lot more to say about Metroid Other M, but I'm going to keep it brief for the purposes of for the Q&A video. I don't like it. If you do, I guess there's people that still like, you know, it still will defend E.T. or something like that, but whatever. I know, bad comparison. Darkfire Mario and 1401 asks, "How is hell? Hell is great. I'm being treated very well here. I intend to take Satan's place after a little while. I'll do a military coup d'etat here." Where did I get my username from? I've told this story to a lot of people. I've told it on my Facebook specifically, but the name Lancun basically just comes from the fact that I was a really big Pokemon fan at the time. I loved the name Lance, and it was a very overused name for, for characters. And I was doing a online story, so to speak, that I was doing alongside a friend of mine. And it was this typical fiction fantasy story with a whole lot of Gary Stews and Mary Sue characters, and it kind of sucked, but the name of the main character that I had very, very loosely modeled after me. We like to project ourselves onto our characters. But the name of the main character was Lancun, and that was the one thing from my story that has stuck for a very long time. I went through the story, rehashed it a number of times. You'd be lucky if you found any bits of it anywhere. I never completed it in any of its incarnations, and it went through like 4 of them. I never got very far in any of its incarnations, just due to a motivational thing. But I was really big on writing when I was in high school. And I'd say it's one of my better talents that I don't use a whole lot of. I think I'm a pretty good writer, but everything's relative. Do I think the Metroid series has died, or is Nintendo hiding it under its arsenal of games, such as Super Smash Bros. For Wii U? I don't know. I think they're definitely on damage control mode right now. They're certainly not treating it anything like the Zelda series or the Mario series, or even Donkey Kong right now. Donkey Kong's getting a whole lot of love. Where the hell is Retro Studios? Please give me my Metroid Prime 4 or some kind of a new Metroid game. Do something, Retro. Save us. Save us from Sakamoto. We can't take this much more. Where did my awesome commentary come to be? I have awesome commentary? I wasn't aware of that. Thank you for the it's an opinion. I don't think I have awesome commentary. I think I just have gotten more competent, with commentary off the top of my head as time goes on. It's all practice. I don't think it's awesome. I think it's okay, but whatever. Raw the Monster Hunter asks, what's my favorite movie / book / TV series? My favorite movie of all time might have to be Terminator 2. It's the one that I saw when I was very impressionable as a young child, and I mean, everything about it seemed bigger, better than the original Terminator movie. Besides, maybe there was no horror element. The T-1000 was a pretty awesome villain, and the end, when the Terminator dies, spoiler alert, oh well, when Arnold's Terminator dies at the end of it, I remember crying horribly when I was a child. He's the good guy, he's not supposed to die. T2 is, if it's not my favorite movie, it's my favorite action movie, and I really wouldn't be able to think of any other contenders right off the top of my head. There's other favorites that I have in other genres, like the mystery genre or the suspense genre, I would say, The Usual Suspects. Things of that nature. My favorite superhero movie, I don't fucking know. For simplicity's sake, because I can't think of any others right now, I'll say The Dark Knight, but there's probably better ones in my mind. Book, I don't read as much as you might think. Sure as fuck not as much as I used to write. The only ones that I really read with any kind of what am I trying to think of? The only ones that I read with any kind of fervor were the Harry Potter books and Ender's Game. That's pretty much it. I read Ender's Game a crap ton of times in high school. But then again, I also read Harry Potter books a whole bunch. I couldn't tell you which one between those two, but I'm really excited for the Ender's Game movie that's coming out. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out to suck. TV series, right now it's kind of a toss-up. I really like The Big Bang Theory. I know it's kind of passé. A lot of people like to do it, but you know, there's a reason why it's popular. The acting is very, very good. I will say that it kind of gets dumbed down by the laugh track commentary. Well, the laugh track that so many sitcoms have. It kind of takes it down because the audience is laughing at what you're supposed to be laughing at. And sometimes the stuff that they laugh at isn't even that funny. The other one is Game of Thrones. I just got into Game of Thrones and I'm like salivating the shit out of it. But does it count as a TV series if it's not on public television? I don't know. It's on pay-per-view television. Song of the South fan asks, what is my reaction to Kingdom Hearts 3 finally being confirmed? Fine, it's about fucking time. Enough prequels, enough midquels, enough expanding on a story and making it as labyrinthine as the fucking Final Fantasy series. And at least Final Fantasy has the luxury of very, very rarely ever having any interconnecting games. This is a whole series that's becoming fucking confusing. At least, I hope that there's going to be some kind of an explanation for the games that came out on all the portable consoles, because I don't play those. I didn't play Birth by Sleep. I have a 3DS, and I don't plan to play Dream Drop Distance. I didn't get 358/2 or whatever the hell it was. I played any of those games, so I may be lost, so I hope they do a good enough job. I know there was Chain of Memories in between 1 and 2. They did an okay enough job explaining what happened between those two games, and it really was kind of irrelevant anyway, because everything got redone, and I don't know what to expect. I know Chain of Memories eventually came out on a console version. I have it, but I've never played it. That's a very big problem that I have, by the way. Buying a game with the intent to play it, but never actually doing it. Whatever. But I am looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 3. Here's hoping. King of Green asks, where do babies come from? They come from storks. And if the child is like me, your own mother slaps the stork that delivers you. Whatever. What are my thoughts on the Disgaea franchise? I know a long time back I made a few Disgaea 2 videos, and a couple Disgaea 3 videos, by the way. I love Disgaea. I think it makes fun of every trope that the RPG series has ever done. It's a parody series, and it's really one of my bigger time sinks in gaming. I mean, Disgaea 2 I got pretty big in. Disgaea 3 was the one that I really dug deep in and just completely started obliterating the endgame content. It's very grindy, and if you like grinds and RPGs, look no further than Disgaea. And then there's so many ways that you can cheat the grinding process and make it easier, and you eventually just become this completely ridiculously powerful character with millions of points and stats. It's weird like that. I hear Disgaea 4 is even better, but I haven't tried it yet. I want to, but I have a lot of things going on right now. Let's see here. Is Metroid Other M my favorite game of all time? Merit 2014 asks. Yeah, it is. It's my favorite. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite. Course Sonic 23 asks, how do I view the Wii U since it's almost a full year and a half since it's released? I bought it expecting good things. You know how much time I put into it? About an hour. Talk about buyer's remorse. As far as the future goes, I look forward to the stuff that's going to be on it. Smash, obviously. I may get the Wind Waker HD game. And I know a couple of people asked me that up above, but doing Sleeping Dogs as a Let's Play. I've never done Sleeping Dogs. I've never played it. Doing PS3 games. Well, I was doing Rising, and I still have Rising. I just have to go back and do the post commentary for it now since my live commentary got fucked. What games am I planning on doing as Let's Plays in the coming months? I have no plans right now. I need to find plans, but we will see. Why do I prefer Super Metroid over Metroid Prime? It's very close. Very close. Probably a nostalgia factor, honestly. Metroid Prime is a really good fucking game, and if I were... Ugh. It's close. As far as my top 3 games of all time, I have Super Metroid, Chrono Trigger, and Metroid Prime. Those are my top 3. I came up with a top 10 list on my Facebook a couple months ago. I might bring that up later, but those are my top 3 games, and it's very close between those 3. But let's see. There's a lot of things that I'm going to reference all at once. Do I expect 1996 is over? Asks, do I want Retro Studios to be making a Metroid Wii U title? Yes, I do. I still want a 2D Metroid, and with what I understand about their Donkey Kong Country Returns series, it's a good 2D franchise. And come on, Retro, bring it to us. Come on, I want it. What videos am I most ashamed and most proud of? That's really deep. I haven't even thought about it too much. I kind of just do a video by video basis. Most ashamed of, probably because I ended up screwing my vocal cords out, was the Sephiroth video, or what did I call it? Let's Go Insane or something like that, when I'm fighting Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts. That confession time, that video was an act. There were many times, if you look closely at the video, where I had him and could have stopped his Heartless Angel attack or intentionally got hit. I did that strictly for comedy. I've never done a video like that since. That's probably the one that I'm most ashamed of, but it's probably the one that I screwed my vocal cords up the most. I think it's the loudest I ever got before Shadow of the Colossus. How many different accents can I do? I'm not going to go there. I can do a Midwestern accent. All the other ones are very, very bad impressions. And that was made by Shady. Draka64 asks, did I ever end up platinuming Shadow of the Colossus? No, I didn't, but I really haven't tried since then. If I really, really buckled down and busted my ass for a week on Gaius and Argus, maybe I could, but I don't want to put myself through that much of a headache for just achievements. Pokemon Star Fox Pie, that's an interesting name, asks, what am I currently doing for a career job? Personal. If I still live in Ohio, will I ever go to an Ohio Con? I've gone to 2. I've gone to Matsuri Con last year's. It's actually going on, or it just ended this year. I didn't go, I couldn't tell you why I didn't go. I just didn't have the motivation to go. And the main one is Ohio Con that happens in January. I usually go to those 2. I haven't gone to Matsuri Con this year, but I will go to Ohio Con next year, January. So, can I wish you a happy birthday since the 24th is your birthday? Well, happy belated birthday. It's the 25th today, but hope you had a good one. Will I ever use Twitter again? I'm not really that big of a fan of the Twitter format. It's really confusing to me. I guess I just have to learn to ignore the hashtags and the ats and all that stuff. But I'm more of a Facebook guy than a Twitter guy. Call me old-fashioned, because I know all the old people flocking to Facebook is why all the young people started going to Twitter. I guess I'm getting old. Whatever. Do I ever... Zelda 64 rules. I'm going to ignore the first question because I'm going to answer it altogether a little bit later. But the second question Zelda 64 rules asks is, do I plan on completing the official fan game known as Metroid Other M as a Rage LP? I'll let you come up with the answer to that one. Trollvakin asks, or Trollvakin, or I don't know. Am I partnered with YouTube / do I want to be? Yes, I am partnered with YouTube. It really doesn't do anything for me like some people would think. I'm partnered through a network, and I'm not going to go into specifics because I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I don't make a whole lot of money. It's literally just a supplementary income. If and only if I busted through it day after day after day after day, with about 5 videos a week. Maybe it could become a primary income, but do I want it? I don't know. We'll ask. Another Metroid Other M question. Sonic Claw 2 asks, what is my overall least favorite game of all time? I don't know exactly what my least favorite game of all time would be. I've played worse games than Metroid Other M. I have to say that. But do I remember those games as well as I remember Other M? Not really. I'm not going to say Other M. I hate Other M, but I'm not going to say Other M. There have been worse games, but I can't think of which ones right now. What is, in my opinion, the most underrated and overrated game of all time? I don't think about this too much. I really don't focus too much on what other people say about something, because I think it starts to skew my opinion of it. I want to go into something with a fresh opinion. Unfortunately for Other M, it's in a series that I love, so mediocrity in a series of very stellar games, I don't take kindly to that. As far as overrated and underrated goes, I don't know. We'll just go with... I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. I have been 0 for 2 for your questions, and I'm about to be 0 for 3 because your third question is, how am I so damn sexy? I'm not. Next question. What is the wingspan? Greg Meckler asks, what is the wingspan of a swallow? But what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? And of course, your question to answer that is an African or a European. I don't know that. And off the bridge I go. Stupid Monty Python references. My favorite anime series, Detective Conan / Case Closed. That was asked by CakeMan777. Shadowrunner431 asks, still think I cheated to get the platinum in Shadow of the Colossus? No, I think a mix of serious luck and persistence eventually gets it done. But, yeah. The question is, besides the load times, the end of the world, Hubs is Silver, and Ball Puzzle, are you one of the only few people that think that seriously overreact with Sonic 06? No, you're not one of the few people that think people overreact about Sonic 06. No, I really fucked that question up. You're not one of the only people that think that, but sorry, I'm not one of them. I think it's a bad game. I thought there was no way in hell it could be as bad as people said. It was a bad fucking game. It was a bad game. Oh my god. Aaron1 Ayala asks, am I planning on the near future to record another Legend of Zelda LP? I'm a huge fan of your OOT and Majora's Mask LPs. I think I really overrushed on my Majora's Mask LP just for the sake of getting it fucking done. But, in the near future, no. Zelda LPs are too long, and I'm really kind of anti-long LPs at this point. I know people like their games to be long so they get more bang for the buck that they pay for, but I don't know. ZB6982. I'm going to ignore the first question. I remember in your earlier days you made several videos about the Trauma Center series. If I ever played Trauma Team? No, I haven't played it. What was my motivation to start making YouTube videos? I guess because everybody else was doing it. I was getting into all these YouTubers, and I apologize if it's not in chronological order based on who I saw first. But I know Over the Gun, Cloud8745, Nintendo Capri Sun, but I started seeing him well after I was already, you know, in the 1,000 or 2,000 subscriber mark. There were a lot of people that I saw, and I'm having trouble remembering everybody, but that's usually because they stopped making videos. I really enjoyed watching Corona 180. I think it was Heavily Armed Gypsy was another one that I really enjoyed, and he took all of his videos down. There were a lot of people that I liked watching. And I said, you know, I'm going to do it too. And I did it too. Not as well as some of those people did, or maybe better than some of those people did. That's all up for interpretation. What is the character that I would like to see in the new Super Smash Bros.? I don't know. They've got most of all the ones that everybody wanted to see. I wanted to see Sonic, they brought in Sonic. I wanted to see Mega Man, they brought in Mega Man. I haven't really given any thought as to who else I'd like to see. I want to see Sonic in the next one, just in case they think about getting rid of him. But my favorite television show, I've answered that. My most hated game series, I don't know, because if I don't like the first installment that I play of a game, I don't continue to play the rest of the series. So, you know what my most loved is, but most hated, I don't know. I know I'm being very elusive on some of these questions. Dr. Fuck, and that's a very good name by the way, Dr. Fuck asks, if I had a choice between having to fight Argus from Shadow of the Colossus again or doing the Great Bay Temple from Majora's Mask again, which would I choose? That depends. Is Argus on hard mode, and do I have access to some kind of a guide from Great Bay Temple? If Argus is on easy mode, or normal mode I should say, Argus definitely, because I could plow through it with in about 15 minutes. That seems a little high for Argus on normal mode. But on hard mode again, oh my god, never fucking again. Never putting myself through that again. It's a tie. ZB6982 actually continued their question. What's my favorite Zelda game? A Link to the Past. Very, very close second is Majora's Mask. You wouldn't know from my Let's Play because of how bad it was, but my least favorite Zelda game that I've played, probably Skyward Sword, although if I played any of the CDI games, those would be much worse, but those don't count. Who's my favorite Pokemon? Always Mewtwo. Who's my least favorite Pokemon? I don't know. Phoebus. Yeah, I like Milotic, but Phoebus, I don't know. I am seriously running out of room here. What's my biggest video game recommendation to people who are somewhat new to video games, don't particularly like shooting games, pretty much only have a PS3? Skyrim. If that's not good if you're new though. Fuck, I don't know. If you want just a straight party game, give PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale a try. I think that's a good one. I don't know. Do I feel the Wii U is a worthwhile system? And if not, do I think it'll become worthwhile in the future? When I bought it, fuck no, it wasn't worthwhile. Not in the least. I still shudder to think if it's worthwhile, but time will tell. Am I going to wait to buy the PS4, or do I think it's better to pre-order it? I'd wait if I were you. I pre-ordered it, but that's me, because I'm a stubborn asshole like that. That was by Imaginaut. Another one. Rap for Respect asks, who are my favorite voice actors? P.S. If Laura Bailey asked me out on a date, what would I say? First of all, if she asked me out on a date, I would refuse and then do the manly thing and then ask her out on the date. But since she's engaged, if not already married, I'll pass on that. But my favorite voice actors probably are Johnny Young Bosch, Crispin Freeman, and I know these are the big ones. Spike Spencer is another one. He was Shinji in Evangelion. Amanda Wynn Lee. Oh, fuck. Who else? Those are the ones that come to mind for right now. Approximately 3 years ago, this Basher030894 asks, approximately 3 years ago, I uploaded a review for Trauma Center. You're curious, after watching Metal Gear Rising, which of the two take more time to edit? Which of the two is more difficult to edit? A review is always going to be more difficult to edit than a Let's Play. No matter how many bells and whistles you put on a Let's Play, a review is always going to be more difficult to edit. So that answers the question. What do I think about the Wind Waker remake, and what about the Wii U in general? I hate the Wii U so far. The Wind Waker remake, I like the Wind Waker, but it doesn't come up on, in my opinion, of top three top 3 games in the Zelda series, in my opinion. It comes maybe in a top 5, but Wind Waker I enjoyed. I thought that the hate for it when it first came out was really, really unwarranted. But let's see. My thoughts on the new Smash Brothers game. I've already gone into that. Chitwitch 823 asks, even though I know you really, really hate Metroid Other M, as you should, how much would someone have to pay you to LP the game? I'm thinking in the 3 figures. I think if somebody peeled off $200, I'd bite my tongue and do it. That's what it would take to get me started on it. If I was in a particularly vindictive, asshole-ish mood, I might just do it for the hell of it. But I'd have to really, really start hating on something. My thoughts on the new 3D Mario game on the Wii U. Solid Snake U asks these 2 questions. I haven't even seen the new Super Mario Brothers game. I probably will eventually, but I haven't seen it yet. I tend to stay out of touch with all the games coming out unless it's from a franchise that I really enjoy. Have I played Mother 2, aka Earthbound? No, I have not. So, and a lot of people ask me this question. Already went into anime. There's a lot of repeat questions. Dylan Stakely, and again, if I butcher a name, I apologize, but Dylan Stakely asks, what's my favorite upgrade in Metroid? Either the speed booster or the ice beam. Maybe the morph ball. It depends on how small the morph ball actually is. It's hard to put those things into perspective because it differs from game to game as to how small the morph ball can actually get. If it can get really small, you can go into some pretty interesting areas. And no, not what I'm talking about for anybody thinking any dirty thoughts there. Let's see. Zeta Wolf asks, why is my OOT Let's Play still super awesome? I've actually thought about going back and redoing that whole fucking Let's Play just because I think it's overrated. I went through and I sucked balls in that game, but maybe that's why people enjoy it. Beast and Gringo asks, when did I start this whole YouTube thing? Late 2007. It's been 6 years pretty much. That's a long fucking time to be doing this. Let's see. I may have to make another part because I'm running out of battery on the camera. It's going to be a 2-parter. Fuck. Again, we're going to be repeating questions. Repeating questions that I'm going to all address at once. This sort of falls into the repeating questions, but I might as well just answer it anyway. The Marcy Brooks asks, will I ever make a Metroid Zero Mission 15% run? I love Zero Mission, but the 15% run seriously makes me pull out my hair. It really does. The gauntlet, so to speak, in Chizodia, every single enemy takes off an energy tank. And if you do a 15% run, you have 1 energy tank. So you have 1 fuck up to your name. That's hard. And having done that myself, when you don't have any of the some of the beams you can skip and things like that, that's fucking hard to do. I've done it. I've gotten every single one of the ending screens in Zero Mission, as I showed off the one time. But that was hard. That was really hard, and I don't know if I have the stomach to put myself through it again now that I know what to expect going in. It is another playthrough out of the question. No, it's not. Nor is another Super Metroid playthrough, as much as I've completely gone through and just beat that with a beat that like a dead horse. Super Retro Gamer asks, am I excited about either A Link Between Worlds or the Wind Waker remake? I'm more excited about A Link Between Worlds than the Wind Waker remake. A Link to the Past is my favorite Zelda game of all time, and the Wind Waker remake, I might get it. I don't know how to feel about remakes. This doesn't seem so much like a remake to me as it does just an enhanced port. It doesn't look all that much different. It looks, the texture resolution is a little bit better, but I guess I'd have to see the two games side by side to really make a judgment call on that. More repeating questions. N4 Tennis 23 asks, in my free time, which YouTubers do I watch? I pretty much watch Nintendo Capri Sun, Josh Jepson. Haven't seen Chugga Conroy in a while, but he's a good one. Over the Gun, I always love his work. If you're into Civilization, as I am, I really love Mad Jin. His work on the Deity series of Civilization 5 videos. I think that's a really good watch. It's not like as much comedy based as it is just informative and sort of fascinating to watch somebody play what I thought was an impossible difficulty mode and do it like as frequently as he does. Eric Villas asks, will I keep on doing live streaming, maybe even regularly? I like the live stream format. In fact, I prefer the live stream format to Let's Plays. It just has to do with free time. Let's be honest, I have a whole lot of fucking free time. I just need to schedule it all properly, is all. And this is going to be my last question because I have like 1 minute left of battery. Sun Wukong 54 asks, did I think that this is where the channel would be 6 years back when I first started it? I thought I would have quit 1 year in. And technically I have many times, or I guess you could say taking a break. Also, I'm guessing the answer is no, but are you ever going to upload more videos to Land's Black Bag? No, I will not. If I ever find something awesome that I want to tell you about, I'm not going to pull it out of the bag. I'll just show it to you, tell you why it's awesome, why it's underrated, things like that, and why you should enjoy it. Will I ever do more again to that channel? No. I've had channels that I've opened and abandoned pretty shortly after starting them, so that's all for now. I am going to continue once I juice up the camera a little bit more because we're basically out of time. I will juice it up for a part 2, which I will get to shortly. See you then.